So, for today's podcast, we've got really something very interesting to talk about, and that is some great success that came recently out of a couple of our students at New Tech Institute High School. And we are joined today by Principal Chris Gibson from New Tech. So, Mr. Gibson, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for the invitation. Glad to be here.
So, Chris, we're going to talk about two of your students, Eli Duff and Jacob Barnwell, who recently won the Changemaker Challenge. And so we'll bring them on here in a second, and I'll talk to them more about that. Really, just a phenomenal accomplishment.
Absolutely.
I know as principal of New Tech, you're certainly very proud. So let's back up for a second before we get into the individual students. And for some of our listeners who may not be familiar with New Tech, tell us a little bit about that. What is the New Tech high school experience like?
Sure. New Tech started as an innovative high school option in the EVSC in 2010. So we really focus on project-based learning and STEM. So our students learn by doing. So they're still going to learn math, English, science, social studies, and meet all of the state standards and curriculum expectations from the Department of Education. We just do things a little differently. So our students collaborate in projects, and then they will do presentations. So it really helps them develop their knowledge and thinking, of course. As they leave an Algebra 1 class, they need to have that knowledge, but also collaboration, agency, and then oral and written communication. So it really just is a different way of doing high school.
And I know it's not uncommon when I've been there before to see a lot of your classes sometimes are almost, I don't know if I'm using the right word, partnered together, where you have two different subject areas where you're almost learning together, right?
Right. English and U.S. history, English 9 and U.S. history are that way, and then also English 10 and world history. So just a co-teaching environment where, for instance, as freshmen learn about the 1920s, they're learning about the history of the 20s in the history part of it. They're reading The Great Gatsby in the English part of it, and then the culminating product is where they create a radio show where they have to interview a figure from the 1920s and then basically encapsulate all of the news that happened during the decade. So they're still learning The Great Gatsby. They're still learning history. It's just in a different way with a different outcome.
Let's see how it all fits together.
Absolutely. Right.
And then this has been an exciting year for you all, too, because throughout your history, you've always been located in a portion of the Southern Indiana Career and Tech Center on Lynch Road. This year, you had a big move over to First Avenue on the north side. Tell us a little bit about how that's gone.
So we had a great 13 years at the Career and Technical Center, and then the opportunity came about for us to have our own facility on First Avenue. So that allowed us to have science labs and a gym, an auditorium, a cafeteria, just allowed us to kind of take on that identity of a high school. And our students have really felt at home. We heard a senior comment just a couple of weeks after we had moved that already feels like home.
Wow.
And so that it really does help us with our identity, because a lot of times, what is New Tech and where's New Tech located? So we hope that it gives us that identity and that sense of, our students have their
own space.
Right. Exactly.
Well, and you always made it work in great fashion. For example, you've always done, I know, theater type productions, drama, and you did it in a really nice space at the Career and Tech Center. But now you have your own dedicated auditorium, and I know you've always been very involved with. You haven't had a gym in the past to do this, but with archery, and now that has to be great for your archery program, which is really a big part of your school.
Absolutely, because our cafeteria at our former space, our team would have to move the cafeteria tables 3 times a week to practice, and now they have a gym. We hosted our own archery tournament, and as you mentioned, theater is. We have so many more opportunities with having a stage, and the curtains were put in this past week, and so it just really kind of lends that authenticity to it.
Right.
And our robotics team, just having
you had a world champion competition that you entered recently, and you've done extremely well with robotics.
Right, state champion back in April of 2023, and had the chance to go to Worlds, and just things like the move just give us more opportunities to expand and have more resources.
Well, I know if anybody out there is listening, they're interested in there, they can go to our website, evscschools.com, but they can also follow New Tech on Facebook. You all are very active on social media. You really highlight all the things going on. It gives you a great snapshot into the school for anyone out there that wants to learn more.
Right, absolutely.
A couple of things I wanted to ask you before we transition over to these two students, Chris, and that is, I know when I've spoken with them in the past, they talked about your Entrepreneurial Academy. Tell me a little bit about that, or that course. What is that?
The Entrepreneurial Academy is a pathway from the Indiana Department of Education. So our students are able to fulfill a graduation requirement for participation in the academy. They also earn a technical certificate from Ivy Tech. So it equates to about 24 college credit hours.
Wow.
And the whole idea behind it is where they learn to plan, design, and then start and launch their own business. And so, in previous years, as we were kind of getting it off the ground, we sort of focused on the theory of here's what it would look like if you were to start a business. And now, with community partners and a lot of help and mentorship from those community partners and entrepreneurs in the community, for instance, Brad Niemeyer from AZIP Pizza, who is a well known
Yes, very,
entrepreneur who launched a business that's now
very,
across the
very,
state.
very
Yes.
successful.
So, he was gracious enough to invite our students to come out to AZIP and just learn about what does it take to launch a business.
Wow.
And so it kind of fits our mission of learning by doing, where our students learn to start the business. And it's not just the theory behind it, but their charge is actually to start a business.
Wow. What a great learning opportunity for your students. Last thing I wanted to ask you, and this was just recently that you all held this, you had a STEM Fest, and I know that is a huge event. Tell us about that quickly.
Our parent group about 7 years ago came up with the idea in collaboration with our teachers and staff about having a STEM Fest, because being a project-based school and also a STEM certified school from the Department of Ed, we want to have that STEM outreach. That's really a lot of what we try to do, is plant the seeds of STEM in the community. So our STEM Fest is a yearly event that we have where one day is where we invite about 800 middle school students in, and then day 2 is open to the community with about 800 to 1,000.
I was going to say you had a good turnout.
We did. And about half of the booths are staffed by local businesses that have hands-on STEM activities. But again, kind of going to that learning by doing from our students, about half of the booths are staffed by our students, so that students can isolate strawberry DNA. They can learn about fire science. They can, we had a button making station. So our students are behind the table doing the STEM activities with younger students. So it's that STEM outreach and learning by doing, and really trying to make an impact in the community.
Wow. All good stuff.
Absolutely.
This is fantastic. No wonder I know you're very proud to be there and take a lot of pride in the work your students and staff do there. But I mean, certainly you all are accomplishing a lot. And again, go to our website to learn more about New Tech. Follow New Tech on Facebook. You can really get a good picture of what's going on. And we appreciate you coming in, Chris. And now we're going to switch over and bring Eli and Jacob on, and we're going to hear about this great accomplishment. But thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you so much. We are so proud of Jacob and Eli. It's a historic accomplishment for our school, and just very proud of them and what they were able to accomplish. And they're great ambassadors for our school and what we do. So glad to have the opportunity.
Well said. We're going to bring them on and talk to them next.
Okay.
So now we've had the opportunity to talk to Principal Chris Gibson from New Tech Institute High School. So now we have an opportunity to talk to the two of you, and I really appreciate you both coming in. So both of you are juniors at New Tech. Eli Duff, thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
And then Jacob Barnwell, we also appreciate you coming in. So first of all, let's just cut to the chase. The two of you were the recent partners and winners of a competition that is held annually called the Changemaker Challenge, which I'm so impressed by this because this is just such an incredible achievement. But first of all, talk to me about what is the competition you entered? What is this event? Whoever wants to answer that.
Okay. So Changemaker, first off, from my understanding, it's a national competition.
Okay.
People from all over the United States of America can come and compete in this. For reference, some of our competitors, one was from Texas, I think, another one was from Illinois, and then I think one of the girls was also from Wyoming. I could be wrong in saying
Okay.
that, but I think I remember
It
hearing
was
that.
Missouri, right?
Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah, Missouri.
So obviously this is a competition not just local. I mean, you
Yeah.
were dealing with individuals and teams from all over. And so what are you trying to accomplish through this competition for somebody who has no knowledge of it?
Well, essentially, we're trying to change the world. Just one
Hence the
project
name.
at a time. Yeah.
Sure.
A lot of the projects were focused on just awareness of certain problems. One was awareness of human trafficking. One of them was just trying to spread awareness of the deaf population.
Okay.
And then we had bigger projects, which was centered around improving education for people that fell behind during COVID-19.
Okay.
So there was a wide range of projects that were all just around changing the world, which is just you want to become a change maker. So
Sure.
that's what the project. That's
And
what
I remember I had the pleasure of meeting with you guys recently after you won this competition. You were being interviewed by some local media about this, and I think both of you commented that you were really honored to be in competition with
Yeah.
all of these
Yeah.
teams because you
Yeah.
were so impressed with the different projects.
Yeah, everyone there, they had their own wonderful, unique ideas that I think if they were to be implemented, it could effectively change the world as we know it.
Okay.
It could make not only Evansville, but Indianapolis, Miami, wherever it's implemented, it could make it
Sure.
just a better place.
Sure. So, as we alluded to at the beginning of this podcast, the two of you won, which is amazing. What an accomplishment. So, again, congratulations.
Thank you.
So, with the project the two of you worked on, tell us about it. What was your winning project?
So what we're doing is a solar powered street light with a monitored dome camera. So we're planning to have up to 25 police officers watch the cameras. Obviously, if we can't do that, they're going to be recorded and stored in a data bank that deletes eventually. Now, it's not a completely original idea, but it's something that we thought was very important that should
Sure.
be here in Evansville. That we noticed is only just on a few street lights, and even then, isn't on the important areas.
Because really, you're looking to increase safety and
Yeah,
security in
absolutely.
a neighborhood type setting, knowing
Yeah.
that with light comes a safer environment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we plan on putting them in the Jacobsville area and its surrounding sectors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you come up with an idea like this? I mean, as you're going through this, I know you're both in the Entrepreneurial Academy at New Tech.
Mhm.
So, what took you down this path?
Well, originally I was sitting in our English class with my friends Levi, Jordan, and Peyton, and all of us, excluding Peyton, are in the entrepreneurial class.
Okay.
And we were discussing entrepreneurial ideas, and then Jordan brought up how Evansville needs new lighting systems, particularly new street lights, because a lot of them are out, and because of that, his family doesn't feel safe. And then Levi chimed in and had the same sentiment. His mother doesn't feel safe walking the streets at night because these lighting systems don't work like they should.
So, really, you're hearing about an issue that to you stands out as this is a problem that
Yeah.
we need to work on a solution for.
Yeah, it's a personal problem. It's
Yeah,
a
it
lot of people close to us,
Yeah.
friends and family. It affects them. So
Directly impacts them.
yeah.
Okay.
that kind of sparked this idea, and then I went to our teacher, Mrs. Schaefer, the teacher for the Entrepreneurial Academy, and she said, "Why don't you join our Changemaker Challenge Club?" And from there, I was off to the races. I joined, and then I went to go talk to Jacob a day after that, and in a sense, pulled him into the Changemaker Challenge Club. And then he brought in the idea of these monitored CCTV dome cameras, and then we just put two and two together, and voila, it just came to what it is today.
Worked out well that Eli mentioned this
It did.
this competition.
It
to you.
did. Yeah, we
did
never
well.
thought that we were gonna win, but I could say that we're glad we did.
Well, absolutely. I mean, again, it's amazing. And at the end of the day, what is it that you think in such a competitive environment where clearly I'm sure all of these projects served a great purpose? What was it that you think took yours to the top? How did you win this, walk away with the Changemaker
Ooh,
Championship, do you think?
Probably we directly targeted the Evansville area. We think maybe we didn't seem like numbers, perhaps.
Sure.
Is that
You weren't so generalized.
yeah,
You had
yeah.
a specific targeted
Yeah,
area
so
to
so
impact.
instead of saying percentages, we made it seem like people. So instead of 10% of the population, we said 250 or 250 people are being affected by
Sure.
it. So we made it seem like a personal thing, instead of just percentages and numbers. And we can thank Robert Lopez at the U of E Center for Innovation and Change. He works there now, but he gave us that advice.
I remember you both said that part of the power behind this program that you were fortunate enough to participate in really was that collaboration and in the learning experience. You
Absolutely.
just
Yeah.
named someone
Yeah.
from U of E, but I mean, it wasn't just the two of you. You've already talked about your
Mhm.
entrepreneurial
Yep.
academy, your teacher, someone from U of E. I mean, this was powerful, this experience.
Yeah, we got to network with so many people, with people from Signature School and people from again, I think it was Michigan and not Missouri,
Right.
but we got to network from people all over the country, and
Your competitors, you
yeah, our
actually got to
competitors, yeah.
collaborate and
Yeah.
learn
We
from
got
one
to
another.
collaborate with them,
Yeah.
and we got to work with them and get to know each other pretty well, and they're truly some great people out there.
I think one of the things that stood out to me when I heard you both speak earlier too was your commitment to this community. I mean, and I don't know, I you know, I don't want to speak for the judges how this impacted, but I know you just talked about how you made it personal with our community. But I know you both spoke earlier about how important it is to you to make sure that we're doing as much as we can for our own area right here in
Yeah.
our home of Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah. Born and raised here, and because of that, though I'm only 17, I feel like I'm qualified enough to say I've seen a lot of changes in Evansville. I've seen a lot of bad things and good things, and
You want to see more good
yeah,
coming in the future?
basically, yeah. I'd
Yeah.
like to eliminate the bad as much as I possibly can, and bring about good changes for
Right.
not only my friends and family, but strangers. I'd
Right.
like everyone to live a good, happy, prosperous life.
And we were talking about this before we started recording today. How great, how wonderful it is for the two of you. You're both high school juniors, clearly very talented, very committed to your work and to your focus and to this project. But through winning this, you won a scholarship to attend the University of Evansville.
Mhm.
And I know you're still looking at all options, but boy, that has to feel good to know that as a high school junior, you already know that you have a scholarship in place to attend,
Yeah.
full ride scholarship, let me say, to attend the University of Evansville.
And UE it's a great school. It's a very personal school, and they help you through it. They have a very good program called Change Lab, which is a whole class dedicated to getting your project done. Again, we mentioned Robert Lopez, and he's responsible for the Trinity Stormwater Project downtown, which is the whole reason there's been so much construction, and there's been the road's been closed so much down there. Um, and he's responsible for that, and he got that done in his 4 years at college, and that was his Changemaker project, and he didn't even win, but he still attended UE and he still attended Change Lab, and they still got his project done. So it just goes to show how powerful that program really is, and how much of a change they can make.
Any words of encouragement, advice for any students in the future, in future years that are considering entering into the Changemaker Challenge? First of all, to do it, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
It can seem daunting, and honestly, it is. I remember before we competed, I was nervous for, oh man, all the months leading up to it. I was nervous. I was freaking out about it. I didn't think that I would even get into the top 20, but we got into the top 20. I freaked out about that for a while. I was ecstatic. And then we competed, top 6, and then first place, and that was,
Rest is history.
yeah, the rest is history. And with that, I I guess the whole purpose of me saying this is, even though it seems daunting, you don't really know what could happen unless you try it.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you don't try it, you may miss out on something that could be historic for you, your family, and everyone else around you.
Yeah.
It's called the Changemaker Challenge, because if you compete, even if you don't win, if you compete and your idea gets recognition, you can truly be a change maker with that idea. You
Wow.
can make the world as we know it a better place. And it all starts with you just putting your feet into this Changemaker challenge zone. If you just step out of your comfort zone and try it, you could change the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
Make your change, shoot your shot.
Yeah.
We didn't think we are gonna win. No matter how silly you think it is, there's someone out there that likely agrees with you. It's a big world, so
Yeah, that is
Just
true.
Well, let me just say, first of all, thank you for your comments. You guys are very inspiring. Congratulations again on winning this very competitive competition. Congratulations on earning the scholarship to the University of Evansville. And look forward to hearing a lot of great things from both of you in the future, because I think there's no doubt the Changemaker name says it all. You guys are in this to make change, and I think it's going to happen. So, Eli, Jacob, thank you both, and wish you nothing but continued success in your future.
yeah,
Thank you.
thank you for having us.